I'm so sorry. I don't know why I was yapping so much. This video was like 8 minutes long and my reaction ended up being like 25, so make of that what you will. But if you enjoyed, like and subscribe. Thank you. The Assassin's Creed Reddit is apparently banning people for criticizing the combat in Shadows and apparently about the whole DEI stuff. We haven't really seen anything that warrants Yasuke being the figure chosen for this game.
Assassin's Creed Shadows has been getting absolutely destroyed by gamers who are sick and tired of narratives being forced into their products and ultimately don't want to spend $70 to $130 for a mediocre game. And now
The whole DEI stuff is like whatever, largely as long as the game is good. But this game at the highest price tier is $130 pre-tax, I'm pretty sure. The higher tier pricing with these games is to get a push into people subscribing to Ubisoft's platform for a monthly fee, where potentially might just happen to forget that they have an Ubisoft subscription and whoops, they've been paying for the last 3 years, but they haven't been using up our servers and they haven't been costing us any money, so free money.
we're finding out the Assassin's Creed subreddit is banning individuals for disliking the game's combat and
It's very likely that it is going to be pretty dog water, but we haven't really seen like an insane amount of the game yet.
pointing out Ubisoft's DEI agenda. I have a few things to
Yeah.
show off, but if you enjoy the content I create, follow me on social media, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, there is nothing that companies could do at this point that would surprise me, especially when it comes
Absolutely
to
not.
their community managers on social media or their moderators on platforms like
Listen, let me tell you, holy, they've got something else going on in their brain. They are not normal. They are built different, but built different in the wrong way. I don't know what kind of boulder Redditor mods have up their bums, but they need to sort that out. Even worse than Discord moderators do.
Discord and also Reddit. And now we're finding out, allegedly, a new report is detailing that the Assassin's Creed subreddit is banning individuals for disliking the game's
And
combat
by the way, I
and
believe this
pointing out
100%.
the agenda. Now, of course, this has been happening for weeks at this point, ever since we saw the official reveal. And now that we're actually seeing gameplay showcases and we're really only a couple of months from release, the backlash has definitely ramped up just because we are in the midst of Gamergate 2. And
Oof, yeah, Gamergate 2 thing, it's pretty bad. That's a whole can of worms that even I don't really want to get into, at least not just yet. The full gameplay trailer for the some section of the game, I don't know if it's the beginning or if it's somewhere in the middle, it just didn't look good. Like obviously the combat's not fantastic. That's the biggest point that a lot of people are going to harp on, but even the character animations just aren't they're not good at all.
there are a lot of people who are calling out companies like Ubisoft that are working with narrative consultant groups like Sweet Baby Inc. And we do know that Kim Belair previously worked at Ubisoft,
Yeah.
and of course, Sweet Baby helped work on Assassin's Creed Valhalla. And we don't have any definitive answer as to Assassin's Creed Shadows, but it appears that Sweet Baby Inc. may have dug their claws into this project as well.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't really see why everybody kind of puts it on to Sweet Baby Inc. Now, obviously, they are the most prolific group doing this kind of thing, but that's because they're really the main one that we know about. I don't think they have a handle on every single game that has been releasing recently that has these problems. I think there are plenty of other groups that are doing the same thing. Again, they've been the most prolific, especially with the way that some of their staff members have been handling situations on the internet. but I wouldn't put their name on this just yet.
But now an X account reports that a person had posted to the Assassin's Creed subreddit saying people are either going to play the game or they will not. I am still leaning to playing it, but I do want to see more gameplay, but I am disappointed this isn't what
I
I
think that's the way
expected
that
or
most
was
people
hoping
feel.
for. I don't care about Yasuke's race, it's whatever, but when I imagined an Assassin's Creed game in this time period, I didn't expect a hulking person swinging around a club, but whatever. They went in a different direction than what I thought it would be. Oh well.
I'm gonna be honest. I actually think the club swinging is a little funny. It's not really like, I don't know how accurate it is, but it is a little funny.
He even continued. As far as this comment, a reason they definitely
And
did
it's not
not
like
do this
Assassin's
was
Creed has
because
been
of pandering,
notoriously
because
historically
this is
accurate
not how
either.
businesses
So
work. Like, who exactly would they be pandering to? I disagree 100%. Ubisoft is neck deep in their DEI initiative. It is part of their core principles, and this is true. They have even admitted this in the past that this is their
that
focus.
is
They want to,
true,
quote,
actually.
better the gaming industry, and they want to push the industry in a more progressive direction, as they have said so many times. And yes, that does reflect in their content, the products
Hmm.
that they are releasing and the games that they are making and trying to sell. I
And here's the problem with this. It's because it's so clearly forced, so clearly fake. Now, in many cases, like you just won't care, right? Because obviously you're not going to care about when a sitcom is adding a fake laugh track. But that's really just the nature of sitcoms, right? When you feel like something is being pushed onto you, a lot of people are naturally going to try to reject that.
100% believe, like many other people, that because DEI initiatives are part of their core principles, that they are pandering to certain people. And I do agree with this post that I didn't expect some hulking person swinging around a club. And overall, this game just looks
Okay,
rough. I mean, yes, it does look like Neoway's combat
I
is
guess
a bit
just
more of
that's
the
just gonna
Assassin's
happen.
Creed.
Also, come on, Vera, you're better than this. It's Naue. You, come on. It's not about the people who are obviously going to be on the extreme. It's more about the people who might be on the fence, who might hear something like this and think, well, she didn't even pronounce the name correctly. Ideally, that's not something that would make somebody decide one way or the other based solely on that, but it is something that could be put as a point on a graph that could eventually create a line if there is another point that might lead somebody to a conclusion that doesn't align with, really in this scenario, the correct conclusion.
Style, she's stealthing around, she's sneaking, she's assassinating, but that's all you really expect when you're talking about an Assassin's Creed game. And they should have just taken this concept and made an entirely new franchise. And then people wouldn't have been that upset. But
That
because
is true,
Assassin's Creed
actually.
in the past has kind of prided itself on historical accuracy when it comes to characters,
Yeah,
it
okay, I was going to disagree with that, but as far as characters go, they are trying to really be geographically and historically correct in those senses, so that makes sense.
has created a large barrier for them. Yes, Assassin's Creed has had very fantastical elements in the past and really
Of course,
crazy concepts, but when it
like
comes
the
to
leap of faith.
representing real historical figures, they haven't faced criticism before. Cleopatra, Benjamin Franklin, Leonardo da Vinci. There are tons of different individuals that they have put into these games that have faced little to no backlash.
Yeah.
But now Yasuke is facing a ton of backlash because they're saying he is a historically accurate character when he was more of a retainer. He was never a full blown samurai. But of course, because the West has an obsession with this individual and, putting his story into video games and movies and TV shows, it's almost as if his, you know, person has gotten lost in translation. Who
That's probably, I mean, that's very likely true. I don't actually know about any of the specific details in terms of the evidence for or against the idea that he was or wasn't. You don't really see this kind of thing with many other characters that are non-white or like specifically like Gears of War, right? Where you have you have a few that aren't white, and you don't really see that kind of backlash like you see with Assassin's Creed Shadows because it's integrated seamlessly. But you could have had this set in Africa or something like that, and it would have been totally fine. It would have been a-okay with people. They would have been like, that's kind of cool. We'll see how this story plays out. You're not really justifying why you chose Yasuke over literally anyone else.
Who he was has gotten lost in translation because of course they're trying to build him up to be this insane figure, this person who, broke all these boundaries in order to be able to market him to audiences in movies and TV shows and now video games. And it's just not working. It's not sitting well.
They're trying to cast a really wide net. The problem when you cast a wide net is that you leave larger open spaces. In trying to capture as much of a demographic as possible, you end up excluding a large part of the demographic you're trying to capture.
With general audiences, and that is why Assassin's Creed Shadows has faced so much backlash. But now apparently people are being banned and receiving the following message: hello, you have been permanently banned from participating in Assassin's Creed because your comment violates this community's rules. Now, of course, it's unclear what rules this post
Of
violated.
course.
They were not rude, they were not being racist, they were not saying anything that should have gotten them banned. But
Yeah, and this is the kind of thing that I was talking about because for a lot of Redditors, and they like to really control the narrative that they put on Reddit, they like to live in obscurity and they don't like to specify anything. Because once you specify, and this is something that Twitch does too, Twitch really likes to abuse this kind of thing where you don't really necessarily say exactly everything that's really going on behind the scenes, because once you start doing that, then you start having problems with people figuring out, well, yeah, but you didn't do it with this one, and what about this one over here? And does that mean that this one's okay?
it does not matter because at the end of the day, they were still banned, and this isn't very shocking. This is why so many people do not use Reddit. This is why when a controversy happens, a lot of people end up, avoiding official Discord servers because you
Exactly.
have moderators who are on the attack and looking to just ban
And they are
people,
policing
shoot
everything
first,
too.
ask questions later, and that is just going to infuriate gamers even more. Look at the Helldivers 2 situations that have happened over the
Oh,
past.
yeah. Oh my gosh. The oh man, that game, the moderation team for that game needs to calm down.
They did go on suspension sprees and banning sprees, and that really upset people even
Mm-hmm.
more than they already were.
Yeah, they
And
were
of
already upset
course,
about the
just
previous
looking
thing.
past this alleged banning situation, clearly people are voicing how unhappy they are on things like YouTube. As you can see on the official Ubisoft YouTube account,
Ooh,
1.5 million views
49
from
to
the trailer
80.
5 days ago,
Oh
49,000
man.
likes to 80,000 dislikes, over 15,000 comments, and most of them are from people
That's
saying this doesn't look good. It looks really, really lazy. It looks like you guys just did not do the best job you could have. And to top all of that off, they added this very cringeworthy hip hop music behind
that's the
Yasuke's
worst part
combat,
of it, by
which
the way.
also
That's
hasn't sat well with people. They're, of course, over at
that
Ubisoft
was
even
oh
being
man.
called racist now. But
Like it's at best tone deaf. At worst, frankly, just kind of racist.
Ghost of Tsushima Netflix adaptation, there's no way you gave him hip hop music, bro. Ubisoft really looked to the camera and said, that one's for you black people. They
Yeah.
say that they want to be as inclusive as possible, and then they do something like this and think, oh yeah, this will definitely sit well with the audience that we want to buy
Oh
this
yeah,
game, and it has
absolutely.
epically backfired
That's
for
the
them.
equivalent
So yes, we still are a ways away from launch. We have a couple of months until this game releases, so it will be interesting to see what other promotional material they put out, if they change any of the gameplay, maybe if they remove some of the hip-hop behind Yasuke's combat. Only time will
Yeah,
tell, but so far things are not
I
going
hope
well
that's
for
not just a
Ubisoft when it comes
Yasuke
to this
thing. I really
extended
hope.
gameplay walkthrough, and apparently the official Assassin's Creed subreddit is banning anybody criticizing this game. But that's all that I
Also, I feel like it really needs to be. Oh no, I'm gonna let her
really
finish.
had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.
I feel like it needs to be clarified as a closing remark. Yasuke is not even African American. It just didn't even make any sense, especially in that time period. I'm not sure what they were doing with that. Again, at best tone deaf, at worst just racist. I'm bleeding into real life, I'm an enemy. Tell me when it's all right, tell me when it's all right. I can never realize all of this is me. Nothing ever feels right.